Hey guys, Brent Hull here with my good friend. What's your name?
Richard.
Good friend, Richard.
Great friend.
Old friend. No, I'm kidding. Richard's here. He's obviously got his team doing all the trim work for us on this job and a bunch of jobs. But this one's kind of extra special. I want to show it to you today. Come join us. We're at the kind of modern ranch, right? That we've kind of given it some soul, like new household soul. And so this is a new build, and we've kind of made it look old with the things that we put in there. Richard obviously has helped us do a lot of that trim. There's some cool stuff. Let's go inside. Okay, so we're now in the entry hall. What have you guys done? What all did you pick up from? Because I know the framers did some of the
the
timber
framers
work.
did pretty much all like the rough timber that you see and like that staircase right there with that skirt with those little pegs. But like any of the trim work that you'll see, like the paneling and baseboards and casing, we're doing kind of like the specialty trim items, but like the rough timber, we didn't do any of that.
So the story or the narrative is that it's this kind of modern ranch house, but because it's a ranch house, because as you see in the distance, we're in kind of South Central Texas, we are trying to have that feel on the inside. We don't want to be in a modern place in here. We wanted the roots of the land kind of inside here. So we've got low wainscot paneling going in here. You see the plank doors that we've got going on. Richard's doing the ceiling, and
I got called out on it.
I called him out because we've had some failures. And basically what happened when we put plank wood directly on drywall, especially on exterior walls, we are seeing movement in the wood. Why are we seeing movement in wood? Moisture is traveling through and getting in there. And because that wood is sitting on that drywall, that paper, it's holding moisture right there. And we've seen cupping. So what I told him is I just said, whenever we do this kind of situation, I want to put it on lattice. Now, as a ceiling with the floor above us, no plumbing, I'm not really worried about it. But on exterior walls and some other things like that, we do want to do that.
But moving forward,
yeah,
just have it where there's an air gap.
No, I need you to take all this out.
Moving forward, the key words there.
Then you've got trim going in here, right?
Yeah, so the way I laid this out, I don't know how geeky you want to get into it, but I've got my fixture right there, centered right there on those panels. Where you see the breaks, there's going to be intersecting beams there. The tongue and groove boards are laid out so that the tongue and groove boards are centered within those beams.
This is why I use Richard on jobs, because he's thinking about how to lay all that out so it looks beautiful, because you don't want that beam going along the side and then a tongue and groove right next to it, like 1 inch. It throws your eye off. And so he's kind of catching that.
Hey, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
What went first in here, the chimney piece or the tongue and groove?
So
I'm just kind of bragging, humble bragging.
How are you manage like wood movement? Because you've got masonry right there touching up against the wood.
I mean, I just try to keep it tight, and I feel like the tongue and groove.
You got the expansion and tongue.
Yeah, expansion and contract. I don't have it pressed up against the wall, and I don't have it pressed up against out here. So I feel like it will move.
If you look closely on the gaps here, kind of on the edge where the tongue and groove coming together, you can see that he's not tight. And so there will be movement that happens in there that should hide, but that does look.
Yeah, and it's milled to not be like fully engaged. So
yeah. Anyway, that is about as tight a joint as you can see on a masonry thing. That looks awesome. I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so these are our plank doors, and we've got a mix of antique wood and kind of new quarter sawn wood. So you're going to see a mix of those different things. There's a little bit of a wrestling match going on with the designer right now. Our casings and how that's working out. She's seeing more of a Santa Fe stucco returns, or the plaster returns to the jam. We'd like to see a casing.
So you're kind of meeting in the middle on a thinner casing.
Yeah, we're not really winning that one. Anyway, know that as we go through here, that's what you're seeing us wrestling around with that.
If you can tell your guys too, and just moving forward, not to make these 500 pounds, that'd be great. These are solid quarter sawn white oak.
Really are heavy.
Stave core, but solid.
Okay, so you've got a bunch of wood out here because you're building stuff. We're gonna go look at the bunk room in a sec. But
yeah,
you got raw lumber out here. What are you doing with all this?
Yeah, I had this stuff come. So I built the entire bunk room that we'll see. I built it out of maple, 1 3/4 maple and 1 inch maple, different stuff that I ordered. This stuff right here is dedicated to the ladders. I'll build 4 ladders that will be rolling on little rollers, and then that way they can move out of the way to get access to the drawers. But Yeah, all 1 3/4 maple. We like maple because it's a cost-effective hardwood that's like, it doesn't dent. Like if you scrape your finger across it, paints up beautifully, and that's what we like to use.
So how much is this typical on a job that you'll mill your own lumber and stuff like this?
Yeah, on-site carpentry, like that's pretty typical for me, yeah.
Well, just so you know, that's not normal, right? No, people will say, well, give it to me and I'll install it. He's actually building it and putting it together, and that's a little different.
Yeah,
and you're doing stuff that would have been done in a mill shop on the job.
Yeah, and this stuff like kind of has to be done here because you can't IKEA this. It's not going to fit through the door, you know?
Right.
It needs to be built and screwed and glued in place and joined.
All this, I think you guys have seen this before, but basically we've got this awesome paneling in between the timbers. So you're seeing this timber frame in here. This looks like an old timber frame barn or something that we're inside of. And yet we've got this elevated paneling.
So just so people know, like Brent's team at Whole Millwork built this. So we just talked about me building stuff on site. Those guys built this, and then I installed it. So that's pretty awesome. That's the kind of thing you can bring in and as a panel and put it in. Side note too, this is a dream shop. I mean, this is my shop right now. I've got a timber frame shop, like paneling all around me, miter saws, planers, routers.
Yeah, good view.
A great view.
It's like nice and cool now, so it's not too hot.
This place is awesome.
Yeah. All right, check out the bunk room. Yes, looking awesome. I mean, this looks freaking unbelievable.
Yeah, this is cool.
You got 8 bunks, right? Tons of kids can crash in here.
So the designer gave me a sketch of this and kind of just brought it to life, and I really like the design.
It looks great.
I think it's real fitting with this house too. It's not like over the top.
The ladder will slide here?
Yeah, the ladder will slide there, and she wanted originally like a fixed ladder. Originally, she didn't have these as drawers, so we went ahead and got these giant undermount drawers here that match the design. And I think the homeowner came by earlier and said, I like the way that is. Don't put hardware on it. I just want to grab it right here, like just it's disguised as a thing. Yeah. So the ladder will move over so you can get access to each drawer.
Okay. So there'll be a bar or something that it slides across here.
Yeah, bar there, ladder coming down. The ladders are actually pretty easy to build too.
How long did it take you to do this?
If you know me, I don't have an ego at all, but I built this by myself, like 95% by myself. Like,
really?
Yeah. So if there's stuff wrong with it, I take credit. If it's not, I take all the glory. But yeah, this took me about 2.5 weeks to get to this point.
Well, that's not that bad.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't bad at all. I've got stuff lapped in. I've got lap joints here.
I saw that.
Yeah. So it's supported, like it's not going anywhere. And then I use screws and stuff. I don't know if they teach that at North Bennett, but I use like big 5-inch screws.
That's what you do.
You know,
you're trying to build things to last, and in an interior environment, I think screws make a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's not Japanese joinery, but hey, it's still good.
You only had 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, this is beautiful.
Thank you.
Great work.
Appreciate it.
Okay, this has been a fun one to have my buddy Richard here. If you guys aren't watching our podcast, Passion for Craft, we do that. We are in season 3. Richard abandoned us for a season.
Yeah. I had bigger fish to fry. No,
exactly. And then now he's back. So we're doing that podcast. You can find it on the Build Show. You can find it on Spotify and all those other things. Yeah, Passion for Craft, it is on YouTube. We're trying to talk about business. We're trying to talk about how to get better. We live in a society that's kind of anti-craft sometimes. And so how to build well today, that's what it's about. And it's kind of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, this is like the podcast in practice. So if you guys listen to it, like we go through everything, business, like you said, actual craft, like we're talking about here, and just cover every area of craftsmanship, really.
Yeah. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'm Brent Hull. Appreciate it.